Okay, I promised myself that I wasn't going to record anything else today, and there's just so much going on. I was about to sit down and watch this, and I'm going to do a video. So this is after I just watched the entire Zane Lowe Linkin Park interview. This is now Mike Shinoda being interviewed by KROQ. I think KROQ, KROQ, it's an American radio station. So this is after the live performance, the unveiling of everything, just with some extra follow-up facts. So this is Mike Shinoda. Let's go.
The last time that you and I sat was January of last year, which feels like it was a long time ago. And then again, it feels like it was 5 minutes ago. In that moment that you and I sat in the sound space downstairs, you were going to release Lost. Where was Linkin Park in your head? Where did you stand?
That's an interesting
with this
question.
entire thing that's happening now?
Basically, what's important to remember, or what's important to know here, is that we didn't have like a moment where we said, hey, let's get the band back together. We didn't have a moment where we said, let's try out singers. People had suggested stuff like that, not suggested as much as like, hey, is this an idea that you like? Like they floated things by us. One of which, by the way, which is my favorite, I talk about this all the time now, is like a couple people were like, what if you did like an American Idol voice
that reminds me of
competition and like the
in
winner
Fort Minor, where he's like, someone said like DJ Han should wear a lab coat and a cowboy hat.
To do, or
it's that level of
yeah, it's the opposite of what we felt was like the right thing, because our band is built on like natural chemistry and relationships, and it's just very important. I think that like probably around the time that you're talking about, I bet Dave and Joe and I in the very beginning had started talking more often, and we were just like, what if we get together and we just like start making some things, like making some music? It doesn't have to be Linkin Park. Let's just get together and be creative and have fun. And that's what we did. So back then it was more about like just spending more time together. And then the more time evolved into songs, and the songs evolved into let's invite some other people in and see how that feels. And eventually we got to the point where it's like that girl, Emily, the stuff we make with her is special. Like, I don't know why it's special. It just feels special. And even though the things we've made are good, I bet we make stuff that's great.
I'm liking her more and more as a choice.
I've
watched a lot of Dead Sarah stuff today.
We also met Colin.
She's such an unusual choice in so many ways.
Playing drums for us,
which is
now.
Great.
Colin is a writer and producer that I met in a session.
Imagine if they came back and it was boring.
Random session a few years ago, and just instantly clicked with him. And so once the six of us all started to get together with Brad and Joe and Dave, it was like, it just slowly came into focus.
What would you say was the next most significant moment or a turning point with all of you when this started to become more of a reality? Like, this isn't just that we're in a room and we feel good together and this makes sense. What was the next significant moment?
I bet everybody has different answers to this. I might even have different answers to it. I think for me, the first one that comes to mind is...
Why is she so close to that shotgun bag?
I mean, there were a couple songs, and Emptiness Machine is one of them. There was a couple songs where when we did them in the form that you hear on the record, like when on Emptiness Machine, for example, when we put Emily's vocal, when Emily sang on it, the song was, at that point, was pretty written. And we had been making new songs with her from scratch. And we're like, oh, you know what? Will you sing on this one that we've already done?
That's interesting.
Like,
so that's
the words and whatever. And she came in.
That song is pre-written before Emily.
And we were like, that's a Linkin Park song. Like, you can't listen to that song and say it's anything else. Like, it was at that point too. We were like considering,
especially knowing it was already
written. Should we call this a different band name?
Crazy.
Should we?
They considered it.
Do we need like one singer? Maybe we got like multiple people like playing different roles and stuff. And when she was singing on certain things, it sounded so much like the band. It just, for me, I was just like, that feels good. Like, I don't know, I can't be logical about it. It's an illogical thing. It just feels good.
I think about her journey and her experience a lot, especially yesterday, because all of you are going to have a unique experience, but Emily has, in a way, more eyes on her. And some of them critical, some of them, she's just doing something that somebody else
The
was doing
amount of
before
criticism
her.
out
So
there.
she's going to be watched in a different.
I just need to put this out there quickly because I've got reaction videos to the full initial performance on the same video. On my one video watching her first performance, I have people super angry at me for being way too positive and people super angry at me for being way too negative. So that is how crazy people are going. That two people can watch the same thing, and because one of them wants her to be good so badly, they're going nuts at me, like, hey, you were too negative. And someone wants her to be so like bad, so badly that they're angry that I was too positive. People are just so one-sided, like just they're not being real with themselves. Like it was a completely honest reaction from a true Linkin Park fan, just watching the whole thing, saying what I felt as I felt it. But people have their own narratives and they're going so hard. The comments I'm seeing, people are going so hard, and I just hate this vocal minority on the two fringes, the two far ends of just super positive or super negative. They're both as bad as each other in a lot of ways. You just gotta, the people in the middle that are just positive and hopeful and just waiting for the next thing. We're like, we got this, guys. We got this.
Different way. Have you talked to her about that? Did you give her any advice? And where does she stand?
We've all talked about it.
Yeah.
With each other and with her a million times.
Yeah,
we're still talking about it. Like, yeah. I appreciate one difficult thing that people are experiencing is just that they've heard Linkin Park for so long with Chester's voice, and the idea of somebody else being in that role feels really different, you know? I know that in the context of the music that's not released yet, like I know that I love it. Like I think her voice is incredible. And the best thing for people who have such a strong connection to Chester to know about me is that Chester was a one-of-a-kind person and a one-of-a-kind voice. And Emily is also a one-of-a-kind person and a one-of-a-kind voice. Like, she's not trying to be him. She is a
character from all the stuff I'm watching.
And it so happens that I think she, singing on these songs, sounds like Linkin Park.
Let's talk about From Zero, because when I heard her sing Mike yesterday specifically, everything you just said resonates because, yes, it sounds like Linkin Park, but I see Emily. You can't not see Emily. So let's talk about From Zero and what was the energy that like quarterbacked that album that makes it new again?
A lot of things.
7 years.
We definitely like
experience.
Started with a lot of very like a bunch of music.
Their albums change so dramatically every 2 years.
Almost like different genres or something. Like it was not that extreme, but it was the sounds of the songs were very disparate. Like they were very all over the place. And then, as has happened before, like I'm usually in the driver's seat to a large degree on the records. I have a producer credit on this one. We didn't work with another producer. And what I was noticing as we started to like get everybody's feedback on like what things they liked, what things they didn't like, what parts of songs were their favorite and least favorite. As we were implementing everybody's ideas, like the album was naturally coming into more of a focus, and the band became clear at the same time that the music became clear.
Interesting.
Isn't that weird? Like imagine you're making an album, but you don't know what the band is.
I bet a lot of that is confidence. Hearing the music make sense.
You go, this is the
would
band.
give you the confidence.
So
they'd be more comfortable together.
I mean, it's one of those things that I think
and you
are
get
meant
that
to be. If the energy is right in the room, you get to the point that you're talking about.
The music. So I feel like
it had to have been so validating for you to feel that, because you're like, oh my God, we put the right pieces together.
Yeah.
That must have been an incredible moment.
I mean, on a really like stupid and straightforward note, I just like the sound of Emily's voice. Like that's like such a simple thing, but when
even her talking voice,
we had some demos
stunning.
that other people tried, other people sang, and I'm talking about like people you don't know. It wasn't like, you know,
Say Amy Lee. Say Derek from Sum
just
41.
to say it's ridiculous. It wasn't like Ariana Grande. It was like, it's like,
Right.
you know, it's like people you don't know.
That
Like,
was a
people try it,
good.
we would
That was a
sing
good
them.
decision to say someone
And
ridiculous. That's such a good decision.
I felt like the thing that was missing, the thing that was obviously there when Emily sang it, that was different, is that when she sings, she taps into this honest emotion in the inflection of her voice and the presentation and the way she does it. It's raw, it's
Raw, wild,
visceral.
Yeah,
it's
that's a great
like
word.
honest.
Yep.
In a way that very few people can do, and I really like I gravitate towards singers that when I hear it, I just personally believe them. And she taps into things in the lyrics, even if she didn't write a lyric, she taps into a presentation of it in a way that I think makes the song better.
We got to see it yesterday. Finally, we got to see it, and you got to experience it. Yesterday was the first time, I'm assuming. Well, I know.
God, I
that
wish the
you
mix
were
was
all
better on that
stage
first performance.
with fans, with that the complete energy in the room. So we got to see it. Did you have a moment yesterday? You had the biggest smile on your face. I know that Mike smile. That's like the giddy Mike smile. You were wearing it yesterday, but I'm sure you were nervous and all the
nice
things.
to see you again at the
But
start.
Did you have
Got
a
me.
moment that you looked around
Absolutely got me.
that maybe stood out more than others?
Well, when we first, at the beginning of the set, like I was like, I can't remember being so nervous. And I don't get nervous for shows usually, but I was like, yeah, my brain was like scrambled eggs. And then getting out there and seeing the fans and starting the first song, which is the Emptiness Machine, the new song, that was just it was so reaffirming. Like, it was just like, oh, this is where this belongs. Like, this is what I do. It
All this energy that I've
weren't
got, this
connected
is
yet.
where it goes.
And
Yeah.
the fans being there is
7
a part
years
of
without
the
it.
puzzle that's so important, right? Like, singing it in a room by myself.
And not just performing, but performing their new song. The energy of, we have created this and now I'm showing it to you. Like, he hasn't had that in a while. I think that would have really been important.
And I focus a lot on like the craftsmanship of the song. But singing in a room with people, I focus almost completely on like, if I have rehearsed enough, then I'm focusing completely on my connection with them.
Yeah.
And their faces and they couldn't sing along to the song. They didn't know the song. They're just listening. And to see the look on
that's
their
interesting
faces
as well.
we got into it was really, really special. I will never forget it. It was so special. I can't wait. Like, and as you know, like, we've got a show here in LA on the 11th at the Forum.
In just a few days, which the turnaround time is nuts.
Yeah. So the tickets tickets went on sale. The tickets go on sale today. They're just starting to sell pre-sale to the fan club right now. And the reaction is like so far really strong.
I imagine it's insane.
What would we know? Like, if people want to see this or not? Like, we've been away for years. We've got a different lineup.
He said that in the Zane Lowe interview.
Like,
that is so crazy to me.
And for them to come back so strong and affirm the band is like the biggest blessing in the world. So I'm so grateful for that. I also know that the show we did on the live stream yesterday was 60 minutes on a stage that was designed for that live stream. And the show we're going to do at the Forum is over 2 hours.
Oh my God.
And it's different production. So
that's a test.
believe me when I tell you, like, we've put in so much time and work into what these things
Will there
that
be
you're seeing
footage?
right now. Like, it's years of work. And thank goodness that it didn't leak.
That's insane.
Unbelievable. I'll ask you one more thing before we wrap
There
it
was
up.
a- there was a
just 'cause I wanted to
tiny
include
leak.
Chester.
There's the
if he
orgy
could-
vocalist.
And I know he is in some way, but if we know that he's watching, what do you think he would think about all that's happening right now? Because I think he'd be stoked.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. Well, like, a couple things about Chester that I know is that he was he would never like, he was an open-minded person when it came to music he liked. He would like, and so the idea that the band being fronted by a female singer is something that I feel like he would have come up with the idea. He would have been, you know what I'm saying? Like, 'cause he was never like, I don't know. I feel like there's some dudes who are like sexist about their rock and roll.
There are.
And none of us have ever been that way. Funny side note, actually, funny piece of trivia. We didn't need to change any lyrics to any of the songs that Emily is singing, because there's no
gendering,
he, she, whatever.
Wow.
It's all
that's
relatively
insane.
ambiguous. So
that's
strangely,
insane.
she doesn't ever have to change a he or she.
Wow.
Anyway, so that just popped in my mind. Sorry for
that. Just shows
sidetrack.
how universal
yeah,
Linkin
to
Park
your point, like,
songs
I said something
are
to the
as a
fans
concept.
last night.
Wow.
You know, that my hope is that Emily can be Emily, and if you're feeling like a connection to Chester when you're listening to the music, then let that come through you. I think he can come through his singing can come through the mouths of the crowd, as opposed to like putting Emily in that weird position. I think the best thing for her to do is her to be herself. And obviously, like, we all love what Chester, you know, how Chester sang and what he meant to the band. So that goes without saying.
I want to leave it on that note, because I think what you said, I haven't heard anybody phrase it like this. The fans can sing for Chester's voice or through Chester, and Emily can be Emily. And I think that's where we leave it, because this is a beautiful thing
really
that you're
nice.
building
That
on.
is really nice.
And I'll see you at the forum. But buddy, here we go. This is going to be amazing.
Awesome, man. I'm so excited. Thank you.
I know. I could see it in your face. And yesterday when I was watching the live stream, like, it almost looked like your cheeks were going to hurt at the end of the performance, because you did smile big, dude. And it's nice to see that again.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. All right. I'll see you soon.
All right. See you soon.
It's a very interesting time. It's a very interesting interview. I don't know if there was too much new in that one. A couple of fun facts. The whole, like, not having to change any lyrics is something I never would have considered, but that is actually really interesting. And also talking about, like, Chester's openness to changing in music. Every album, they completely changed. Like, Bring Me the Horizon are the new band that is the best at that, but Linkin Park were the original. You never know what you're going to get. They always gave you something you didn't expect. They completely changed album to album, remix albums, just that's one of the big things about Linkin Park. And I've always said that it matched where I was at in my life every time. So whenever an album came out, whatever I was needing at that time, it always seemed to be right for me. And I guess this is that again, I guess. So thank you, Linkin Park. All right. A lot of Linkin Park content coming out over the next 2 months. I want to hear everything from Dead Sarah, live performances. I'm going to do some deep dives on Linkin Park performances, Chester with Stone Temple Pilots, and features on other stuff. I just want to hear everything leading up to this new album. I want to be ready. I want to be completely ready for it, because I'm excited for it, but I don't think I'm ready for it. So I wasn't ready for the performance the other day. I was just emotional and everywhere. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you got songs you want me to hear, if you got Dead Sarah songs, especially, I don't know which ones to listen to. I've done a couple, and they vary greatly in style. So if you've got Dead Sarah songs or any songs or good performances from Linkin Park, I do request streams on Twitch where every song I do is from requests from chat. So head on over. I'll see you guys there. All right. See ya.